Yes, Harisha GN.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1 minute. Check the PPT is visible or not. I will share the PPT. PPT is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Again, we will wait another 2 minutes. Okay, still only 19 participants are there. Once it reaches to 40, then I will start. Okay, so take 2 minutes break. Okay, only 26 participants are there. Okay, it's the auto admit. Okay, my voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now you can see that in the first case, balancing of single rotating masses of a single mass rotating in the same plane. Now you can see this will be the condition. So we know the what is the disturbed mass m1, what is the radius of rotation of that mass r1 also we know that. Now you take either mc is known. Now you go for calculate rc value, or else rc we know that. Then you go for calculate what is the counter mass or balanced mass. This is for first case. Similarly, go for second case. What is the second case here? The balancing of single rotating masses means single disturbed mass by two masses means two counter masses or balancing masses rotating in different plane. In that we have two cases. First case is when the plane of disturbing mass lie in between the planes of two balancing masses. Now see the M and R. M is the thing but is a disturbed mass. MC1, MC2 are the counter masses or balancing masses. Now where is the disturbed mass? Disturbed mass is in between the counter masses, right? Now with respect to the disturbed mass, now you can take that the what is the reference plane. Sorry, what is the where is the MC1 is located? The MC1 is located at a plane Q at a distance of L1 from the disturbed mass. Similarly, MC2 on a second counter mass is located on the plane P at a distance of L2 from the disturbed mass. It may be not same L1 is equal to L2 or L1 is greater than L2 or L1 is less than L2. Any cases is possible. But the distance between the plane P and Q or the plane sorry C1 and C2, these are the different two planes. Contour 1 plane, contour 2 plane, C1, C2. The distance between C1 and C2, it may be a L. L is equal to what? L1 plus L2. Now disturbing mass is rotating at a plane. Which plane it is? Plane A. The first counter mass is rotating at plane C1. Second counter mass is rotating at plane C2. R stands for radius of rotation. For counter mass 1 it is RC1. For second counter mass it is RC2. Right? Now once it is one is shaft rotates with an uniform angular velocity, the disturbed mass produces what? Centrifugal force. The disturbed centrifugal forces. That is F is equal to mr omega square. It act radially outward. It is upward direction. Now at the same time, the counter mass 1 that also produces a first counter mass counter centrifugal force Fc1, mc1 rc1 omega square that acts downward. Similarly, second counter mass also that produces its magnitude Fc2, means the counter centrifugal force for second mass mc2 rc2 omega square. Now see that all the masses are located in different plane. If we view from the side view, you can see that located in the same line here, right? If this is a front view, if we view from the side view, left side view, okay. Now again, how do you make it? How do you determine the counter masses? Then again, now it produces not only static balancing. Now this type of cases will produce a dynamic balance also. Once it is dynamic balancing, then you go for apply first force balancing, vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Then you go for second one, vector sum of all the couples or moment about any arbitrary point equal to 0. Now first we'll go for a vector sum of all the centrifugal force or vector sum of all the force acting on a body equal to 0. Upward forces are positive, downward forces are negative, right? Now we'll go for apply this first static balancing, vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Upward forces are positive, downward forces are negative. Now we'll come from the left side. Now Fc1 act what? Downward, there is a minus Fc1. Next, after the Fc1, F is act vertically upward plus F plus F. Again, Fc2 is produces vertically downward minus Fc2. That is equal to 0. Now again rearrange that equation. F is equal to Fc1 plus Fc2. What is F? F is nothing but what? Mr omega square. Mr omega square. That is equal to Fc1 mc1 rc1 omega square plus Fc2 is nothing but mc2 rc2 omega square. Now which is a common term in this equation? Omega square is common term, take outside. Now omega square get cancelled. Finally, what is the condition you get? M into R is equal to the sum mc1 rc1 plus mc2 rc2. Now further this is the equation number 1. Okay, this is the first condition for static balancing. Then you go for dynamic balancing, the vector sum of all the movements about an arbitrary point. Here arbitrary point, which point you consider here? First I'll consider point Q. Point Q, vector sum of all the arbitrary, vector sum of all the movement about an arbitrary point Q is equal to 0. Now what is the sign convention we use here? Now clockwise couples are positive, clockwise movements are positive, counterclockwise movements are negative. Now what is the moment? Moment is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. Now here force, I want to take vector sum of all the moment about the arbitrary point Q is equal to 0. Now in that force is there, Fc1 force is there, but no perpendicular distance. Fc1 into 0 become 0. You will not consider this one. Second one, F is there, that is the disturbed centrifugal force into what is the perpendicular distance here from point Q, it is L1. F into L1, that produces what type of movement? Is a clockwise or counterclockwise? That produces about point Q, it is a counterclockwise. That's why it is a negative. Minus F into L1, that is what sign you can see here? Negative, minus F into L1. At the same time about point Q, what is Fc2? That produces a couple Fc2 into what is the perpendicular distance here? L, or L1 plus L2 you can take. That produces what type of couple? With respect to Q, it is a clockwise couple it is. That's why you can see the Fc2 into L, that is a moment. Plus sign will come to the picture here because of clockwise couple. That is equal to 0. Then Fc2 is equal to Fc2 into L is equal to F into L1. Now substitute Fc2 and F, that is Mr omega square, mc2 rc2 omega square. F is nothing but Mr omega square. Now again omega square get cancelled. What is the conditions you'll get? mc2 rc2 is equal to M into R. L1 by L. Now quarter, this is equation number 2. This is the first the moment equation from the dynamic balancing. Similarly, now we can see that MC2 RCT is equal to M into R L1 by L. M we know that disturbed mass, we know that, and radius of rotation of the disturbed mass also we know that. L1 also we know that, L also we know that. Now in this left hand side, for a given MC2, if I know MC2 means the counter mass, second counter mass, if I know it, then I can easily determine what will be the radius of rotation for the second counter mass. Or if I know the radius of rotation for the counter mass, then you can go for determine what is the second counter mass quantity in kg, right? Similarly, instead of that second moment equation here, vector sum of all the moment about an arbitrary point P is equal to 0. That is the condition here. Okay, vector sum of all the momentary about arbitrary point P is equal to 0. Again, take the same sign convention. Clockwise movements are positive, counterclockwise movements are negative. About point P here, again MC2 is there, force is there, but no perpendicular distance. Movement is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. After that, now we'll go for here. F is there, disturbed centrifugal force. Perpendicular distance is L2. F into L2 that produces with respect to point P. What type of couple it is? Clockwise couple. That is a plus F into L2. Next, one more force is there here, FC1 into perpendicular distance is L. That produces what type of couple here? Counterclockwise couple about point P. Means that is negative. Minus FC1 into L. Again, simplify it. Finally, what equation you will get here? MC1 RC1 is equal to M into R into L2 by L1. Now these all the parameters we know this. These all the parameters. M we know that, R also we know that, L2, L1, L2 and L also we know that. Now for a given value of MC1 you can calculate RC1. Or for a given value of RC1 you can easily calculate MC1. This is what type of balancing here? Dynamic balancing. One is static balancing. This is a equation number 1 is due to static balancing. This is first you should what's good. Now you go for dynamic balancing. This is the equation number 2. You should satisfy this one. Then equation number 3. Then you can easily calculate MC1, RC1, MC1 and MC2 by given RC1 and RC2 value. This is the what first case. In that balancing of single rotating masses by two masses rotating in two different plane. In that first case here, when disturbed mass should lie in between two counter masses or balancing masses. Okay. Similarly, go for second case. What is the second case here? In the second sub case, the plane of disturbing mass may lie on the left or right of the two planes containing the balancing masses. Now here what cases we consider here? We'll consider the disturbed mass. It will lie in the left side of the two counter masses. Again take here, M is the disturbed mass, MC1 is the first counter mass located in where? At a plane C1 at a distance of L1 from the disturbed mass. Similarly, consider second counter mass MC2 in which plane here? C2 at a distance of disturbed mass is L2, right? Now once you start rotating here at angular velocity, angular uniform angular speed omega, now what will be the condition? Right? Again apply the same two conditions. One is vector sum of all the force equal to 0. Second one is vector sum of all the movement about an arbitrary point. It may be arbitrary point is point P or point Q. You consider here, then you can get that. Now the static balancing, only the equation changes compared to the previous one. In the previous one, M into R is equal to MC1 RC1 plus MC2 RC2. Right? You can check in the previous one. M into R is equal to MC1 RC1 plus MC2 RC2. Now in this case you can see here it will change here. Static balancing only changes because MC, the first counter mass located here below the axis, second counter mass is located above the axis. That's why the only static balancing it changes. Whatever dynamic balancing remains same. See that what is the value here? MC1 RC1 is equal to M into R L2 by L1, equation 2. Similarly, MC2 RC2 is equal to M into R into L1 by L. Now you can see that in the previous case also we'll get the same value, same dynamic balancing, right? Yes, this is the way you go for derive. Um, uh, they may ask for in general short notes here. Okay. Now, for exam point of view, these two will not come if they may ask for short notes. Now, what next we'll discuss that is very important from the exam point of view also, from the designing aspects also. What is that? Now, balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. Now, best example for balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane, take ceiling fan, take a propeller shaft, so propeller blades, okay, or if we take a mixer, even grinder, all the blades of the rotor is located in only one plane. Or if we take a two-wheeler bicycle, the bicycle rim, the spokes, all the spokes are located in only one plane. Even a bicycle or motorcycle, or if you take a car wheel, if you take car wheel, what about the bolts and nuts, what will located here in the rims of the car? Just all the bolts are located in the same plane only. Those are the example for balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. Here we consider several masses are rotating in the same plane. How do you locate here? This is a space diagram. First you draw a horizontal line. In that it called as the x-axis, and vertical line is y-axis. The intersect is called as O. Now several masses M1, M2, M3, M4 are rotating masses with respect at a radius of rotation from the axis here R1, R2, R3, R4. And also we'll get orientation, that with respect to horizontal line, with respect to x-axis you should measure in counterclockwise direction. What is theta 1? Theta 1 is nothing but first mass is located with respect to x-axis, its orientation is theta 1. For second mass is theta 2, third mass with respect to x-axis theta 3, fourth mass is theta 4. Now once it start rotating here at a uniform angular velocity, at an uniform angular velocity omega, we can see that for the first mass you consider here a force which acts radially outward, the force which acts radially outward from the mass 1, that is first centrifugal mass, that what its magnitude is fc1 is equal to m1 r1 omega square. Now resolve that force, centrifugal force in two component. One is for horizontal component we'll get Fc1 into cos theta. For vertical component we'll get Fc1 into sin theta 1. As you know that Fc1 is nothing but mc1 rc1 omega square, or m1 r1 omega square. Sorry, not c here. m1 r1 omega square. Again, we'll not consider omega when you go for draw when calculation also will not consider this omega, because finally it will cancel it. You go for take left hand side, those two, the omega square will get cancelled. Okay, now this is the explanation for several masses rotating in the same plane. Then how do you make it balance? How do you get these counter masses and radius of rotation for the counter masses and the orientation with respect to the x-axis? These are the unknowns we should determine here. How do you determine these counter masses? So the quantity means the magnitude, direction and its orientation. How to determine? There are two techniques are there. One is analytical method, another one is graphical method. Now first we'll discuss analytical method. What is the analytical method here? How do you determine the magnitude of counter mass? It may be the masses or radius of rotation, and then you go for determine orientation. First analytical method is find out the centrifugal force or the product of mass and its radius of rotation. Here don't consider the angular speed omega square, don't consider into in calculation, because finally it will get cancelled. Instead of making complicated, we'll omit that omega square. Okay, Find out the centrifugal force or the product of mass and its radius of rotation exerted by each mass on the rotating shaft. Okay, then after that, go for resolve the centrifugal force horizontally and vertically. As you know that how do you resolve the force in horizontally and vertically? You can see that for first mass, Fc1 is equal to m1 r1 omega square. Now resolve into horizontally. If you go for resolve into horizontally, what term will get here? For hypotenuse multiply cos theta 1. For vertically, sin theta will come to the picture. Okay. Now we'll go for vector sum of all the forces acting in horizontal direction. That is for all the masses m1, m2, m3, m4 or mn, you can take n number of masses. How do you get vector sum of all the forces horizontal? That is a summation of I values vary from 1 to n masses mi, ri, cos theta I, where I is varies from 1 to n number of masses. Omega square don't consider here because finally it will get cancelled here. That's why not included that omega in the calculation. So what is if you expand here? I varies from 1 to n masses. For our cases, I is equal to 1 to 4 masses. That is m1 r1 cos theta 1 plus m2 r2 cos theta 2 up to m4 r4 cos theta 4. Similarly, sum of vertical components of the centrifugal force. Vector sum of all the force acting in vertical direction. That is sum of vector sum of all the force acting vertical direction. For vertical direction, which trigonometric term will come here? Sin theta. In general formula, it is sin theta I. Summation of I varies from 1 to n, mi ri sin theta I. I varies from 1 to n. Again, simplify it. m1 r1 sin theta 1 up to 4 masses. You consider I varies from 1 to n is equal to 4 means m1 r1 sin theta 1 plus m2 r2 sin theta 2 up to where m4 r4 sin theta 4. First, find the centrifugal force or the product of mass into radius. Second one, resolve the centrifugal force into horizontally and vertically by taking this general formula. There is vector sum of all the force in acting horizontal direction is equal to this equation. Similarly, vector sum of all the force acting in vertical direction is equal to this formula. Third case, now I want the resultant one. Resultant, how do you get resultant one? By applying a Pythagoras theorem, you can see that the centrifugal force Fc is equal to what? MC RC. Don't include omega square here, that will get cancelled. Now Fc is equal to MC into RC, that is the square root of vector sum of the force acting in horizontal direction, the square, plus vector sum of force acting in vertical direction, square. Now from this value we know that this value is known that for a given value of MC you can calculate RC, or for a given value of RC you can calculate MC, the mass of the counter mass. Now find out the magnitude of the balancing mass MC at a given radius of rotation RC. This is the what we'll get magnitude. Then I want to know the orientation. How do you get the orientation? As you know that orientation tan theta is nothing but what? The opposite side divided by adjacent side, means vertical side divided by horizontal side. Tan theta is equal to vector sum of all the force acting in vertical direction whole divided by vector sum of all the force acting horizontal direction. These are the 4 steps you should remember. Okay. First one, determine the centrifugal force or the product of mass and radius of the each mass of the disturbing mass, each disturbing mass, the magnitude of the centrifugal force. Second one, resolve all the centrifugal force into horizontally and vertically. Third one, determine the magnitude of resultant centrifugal force by considering this formula. And fourth one, determine the orientation of the counter mass. The theta c angle which resultant are counter mass orientation with respect to horizontal line with respect to x-axis. Okay, these are 4 steps you should remember. Suppose instead of analytical method, if you go for graphical method, then how do you do the graphical method? First you will draw the space diagram. Again here no need to go for scale, it is okay, only angle, the orientation is important. The angle, whatever the angle is given, same angle you consider. Draw the space diagram with the position of the several masses. What is the space diagram here? Now this will be the space diagram. Okay, this will be the space diagram. Okay, figure A shows the space diagram. For a given uh, the mass and the radius of rotation and orientation is given. According to that orientation of rotation, you'll go to go for locate the masses. Okay, this is a space diagram. The first step in the graphical method, draw the space diagram with the position of the several masses. Then you'll go for construct a table. How do you construct a table is, now this is a way to construct the table. First serial number, masses, radius of rotation, angular orientation of the each masses. Then you'll go for centrifugal force divided by omega square, that you get kg meter, because don't include this omega square in calculation. Then you go for construct the table, that is find out the centrifugal force or product of mass and radius of rotation exerted by each mass on the rotating shaft. This is the second step. Third step, then you go for draw a force polygon or vectorial diagram. Okay, you know how to draw the force polygon by taking a suitable scale. So much of kg meter is equal to centimeter. Then the whatever the once you calculate centrifugal forces, the length of the line shows the magnitude, arrow mark shows direction. When you come to the problem, when you solve the problem, you come to know that. Okay, if there is any gap in the force polygon, then you join that force polygon, that gap, that point. Okay, I think 1 minute, I'll show the force polygon here. Yeah, now you can see this is a force polygon. Okay, the length of the line shows the magnitude of that force, centrifugal force. The arrow mark shows the direction. Now suppose the force polygon should be a closed one, means within that four masses only it is completely balanced. If it is unbalanced, means you can see the dashed line MCRC. If you join this AE, that gives a MCRC, that is unbalanced, the counter masses magnitude you will get, right? Then if I know RC, then you can easily calculate MC, and with respect to horizontal line, you can calculate its orientation. That is what we call as a graphical method. There is a vector diagram. We call as a vector diagram, or by drawing a force polygon, you can calculate the unknown magnitude of the centrifugal counter masses, or unknown magnitude of counter masses. Okay, then for once you draw the force polygon, then you go for determine MC RC. Okay, yeah, this is a graphical method. In graphical method, first you draw the space diagram, second you go for construct the table, then you go for draw the force polygon, then the resultant the force polygon is the open loop, it is not a closed one. Then join that, make it a closed loop, then you'll get the magnitude of the closed loop, you'll get MC RC. From this you can calculate. Remember these four steps. Now all of you have a notebook. Take notebook, pen, and calculator also. Yes. Still how much time we have? Till 15 minutes time. Okay. So now for the problem for the third case here, four masses M1, M2, M3 and M4 are 200 kg, 300 kg, 240 and 260 kg respectively. Now these are the four disturbed masses, M1, M2, M3 and M4. They are rotating in where? In the same plane. The corresponding radii of rotations are 0.2 meter, 0.15 meter, 0.25 and 0.3 meter respectively. Okay, only 10 minutes time is there. Within that we'll finish this problem. Okay, and the angles between the successive are, successive means what is successive? From, suppose if a first mass is located in the x-axis, second mass is, what is second mass is with respect to x-axis how much? 45 degree. Third mass with the second mass is 75 degree. Fourth mass with respect to third mass it is 135 degree. Like that it is. The angles between successive masses are 45 degree, 75 degree and 135 degree. find the position and magnitude of the balance mass mc you have to go for determine. If it is radius of rotation is 0.2 meter, rc value is given. Now what are the data are given? M1, M2, M3, M4 is given, 4 different masses, and their radius of rotation also given, and also angle between their successive masses also given. Means the angle between second mass with the first mass is 45 degree, third mass with the second mass is 75 degree, fourth mass with the third mass it is 135 degree. Then RC value is given, then calculate MC value. Okay, here either go for constructed table or write the given data. See what are the given data? Serial number here, 4 masses are given, each mass quantity is given, radius of rotation is given, and orientation is given. See the orientation. First mass, second mass with respect to first mass it is 45 degree. Third mass with respect to second mass how much? 75. But I need with respect to horizontal line. With respect to first mass means 75 plus 45 will get 120 degree. Again fourth mass with respect to third mass it is 135, but I need it for a first mass means nothing but 135 plus 120 will get 255 degree. And then you go for centrifugal force divided by omega square. Centrifugal force divided by omega means mr omega square divided by omega square get cancelled, right? Okay, 1 minute. So what is centrifugal force is nothing but centrifugal force are in general it is m into r into omega square. It is whole divided by omega square. Whole divided by omega square is nothing but what? Omega square. Omega square get cancelled. Finally you get what? M into r. This is what? M into r. You make it correction here. M into r in kg meter. Mass is in kg. Radius of rotation is in meter. Now multiply m into r. 200 into 0.2 will get 40 kg meter. Similarly like that, m into r. After that, how do you solve this problem? Now, how do you get whether all the masses are rotating in the same plane or different plane? The plane location is not given. Several masses are there, but each mass location, the plane location is not there. Then it will come under which category? The case number 3, balancing of several masses rotating in the same plane. Then how do you, first you draw the space diagram or freehand sketch you draw here for analytical method. Okay, so first mass is located here in x-axis, horizontal line. That theta1 is 0 degree, m1, and radius of rotation is r1. That m1 and r1 you can write in freehand sketch. But what about the orientation? Should use the protractor, and with the help of the protractor only measure that orientation, theta1, theta2, theta3, theta4. See that in x-axis m1 r1 is located, theta1 is 0 degree. With respect to mass 1, what is m2 is located here? Theta 2 is how much? 45 degree, right? Theta 2 for second mass is how much? With respect to 1 is 45 degree. Measure it through the protractor. O is the center. Then go for in counterclockwise direction. Measure theta 2. Along that 45 degree line, measure m2 and r2. In freehand sketch, you can take anywhere here. M2, r2. Now after that, with respect to again x-axis, what is third mass is located here? 120 degree. From here through the protractor, measure theta 3 is how much? 120 degree. Draw a 120 degree line. Or with respect to the second mass, how much it is? 75 degree. That also possible. Better you go for measure with respect to horizontal line. Draw a 120 degree line. Along the 120 degree line, show the M3, R3. Orientation theta 3 is 120 degree. Next, fourth mass is with respect to horizontal line 255 degree. Here in protractor, if you use only 120 degree protractor means go for in reverse direction. In the draw horizontal line from the extend here, from extended point O. Now extend is point O. From this it is how much angle it is? 180 degree. From the 180 degree again measure 255 minus 180 almost will get 75 thing, 75 degree measure here. Then along the 255 degree line measure, locate the M4 and R4. Then show this theta 4. Okay. Now once you draw the space diagram, write the given data. Then you will go for solve by first analytical method. How do you solve the analytical method? As you know that centrifugal forces. Once you construct a table, then you go for centrifugal force in each centrifugal force in horizontal direction. What is the formula we use for horizontal direction? Vector sum of all the force in horizontal direction is equal to summation of mi ri cos theta I, where I is varies from 1 to n, where n is equal to what? 4. Now expand it. I values varies from 1 to 4. m1 r1 cos theta 1 plus m2 r2 cos theta 2 plus m3 r3 cos theta 3 plus m4 r4 cos theta 4. We know that from the table what is m1 r1 theta 1 also. Now substitute and calculate. Finally we will get vector sum of all the force acting in horizontal direction is 21.632 kg meter. Similarly, go for centrifugal force in vertical direction. Vector sum of all the force acting in vertical direction, that is equal to summation of mi ri sin theta I, where I is varies from 1 to n. N is equal to how many masses are there? 4 masses are there. Now you go for expand it. m1 r1 sin theta 1 plus m2 r2 sin theta 2, m3 r3 sin theta 3 plus m4 r4 sin theta 4. Now substitute m1 r1 and sin theta 1 value. Similarly up to m4 r4 sin theta 4, substitute here and calculate. Finally get vector sum of all the force in acting in vertical direction is 8.439 kg meter. Next, after that, once you draw this constructed table in the centrifugal force, you determine our product of M and R. Then you go for resolve that force into one is horizontal, another one is vertical. Then you calculate. Then what is the third step? Now you go for determine resultant one. Now how to calculate resultant forces here? The counter mass Fc is equal to MC is equal to MC RC, that is equal to vector sum, so square root of summation of FH, the vector sum of all the force in horizontal direction square plus summation of FE whole square. Right, now we substitute, then we'll get for a given RC value, we know that, right? Substitute RC value also, MC value will get 115.95 kg. Similarly go for orientation. If you want to calculate, we know that tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent side. So you'll get theta is nothing but tan inverse of the opposite by adjacent. Substitute, we'll get theta c will get here 21.34 degree. But you can see here theta in which in which quadrant the tan theta is positive. You can see that allied angles, right? Yeah, all are positive. Sin theta, cosecant theta positive, tan and cot are positive, cos and secant are positive here. The tan theta will positive in which case here? Now theta will get positive, right? Here you'll get positive sign means theta will get come in which quadrant? Third quadrant. For third quadrant, 180 plus 21.21 21.34 you just add here. Finally how much value you will get? How much value you will get here? Theta is equal to 201.34 degree. This is a what? Analytical method. Yes, try to solve this analytical method. In next class, tomorrow class, we'll go for graphical method because we have in less than 1 minute time. Okay, or else I'll continue the class. I'll go for upgrade it. Yes, someone has to give the response.
No,
Yes?
sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Morning we have first.
No, sir.
Okay, we'll continue in the first session. Again, we'll go for revision it, and then we'll solve the problem. And first, you do it in analytical method. Tomorrow, we'll go for graphical. Keep in set square, pen, pencil, etc. Okay. Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you for attending the class.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.